Good evening. In previous session, we have seen identity operators. So today we are going to see remaining operators, that is membership operators. So what is meant by membership operators? So there are two membership operators we are having. Okay, two membership operators. One is in, another one is not in. Two membership operators we are having. One is what? In and not in. So these operators are used to test whether the value is present in a sequence or not. So if we can observe here, what is there? In is there. That means, for example, SIVA. I am asking you that S is in, for example, Shiva. Is S is in Shiva? Yes. So that we are going to get answer as what? True. Is I in Shiva? Yes. I is also present in Shiva. So for example, some X in Shiva. Is it present in Shiva? No. So we are going to get what? False. That means here membership operators are going to tell whether the given element or a value is the member of the given sequence or not. For example, it is a string, for example. So it is nothing but what? String is nothing but a sequence of characters. So otherwise we can also consider some list. For example, 10, 20, 30, it is also a list. It is also sequence of numbers. So from a sequence of numbers, if you want to find whether the given element is a member or not, I have to use in and not in operators. Okay. So I will consider some examples for this membership operators. So first thing we have to understand is what? Membership operators are nothing but what? It will tell us whether the given value is present in the particular sequence or not. So I'm going to consider a small example. So I'm going to take X equal to, I'm going to take Shiva for example. So here in this, I want to find whether some value S in X, for example, is S is present in X. So here I have to take it as what? Okay, right. Now see, is S is present in X? S is what? Sorry, X is what? Shiva. So see, it is going to give me what? True. That means what? S is a character present in X. X contains what? Shiva. Okay. In the same way, if I am going to check for some X in, sorry, it may lead to confusion. So let us take some other variable called as value called as K in X. Is K is present in Shiva? Not present. So we are going to get what? False. That means here in and not in will tell us whether the given value is present in the sequence of values. Okay. So here I have taken one string and I have shown you whether it is present or not. For example, now I'm going to check for not in. So S not in X. Is S is not in X? Yes, S is present in X. Sorry, S is present in Shiva. That means what? Whatever the statement here we have written is what? False. So we are going to get what? False. Okay. Now, when we are going to get true in, if the value is present, for example, okay. Now, when we are going to get in and not in. So when we are going to get true here, if the value or variable is present, okay, is present, then we are going to get what? True. When we are going to get false here in the case of in, okay, sorry, okay, 1 minute. Okay, let us consider here in. I am going to consider, okay, when we are going to get false, if the value or variable is not present, then we are going to get what? False. Now if you are going to consider not in, when we are going to get true here, not in means what? If the value is not present, if the value is not present, then we are going to get true. When we are going to get false here, if value is present, if value is present. Okay, these things you have to understand about this in and not in. So now I'm going to consider sequence of values in a list. So list is also what? A sequence of values. For example, here I am going to consider some elements like 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. For example, I'm going to consider some group of elements. So in this, I want to find whether the given element is present or not. So let us take 10 in, what is the name of the list? List 1. So is it present in our list? Yes. So it is, we are going to get what? Answer as true. If I'm going to consider, for example, 100 is not present. So 100 not in list 1. So is 100 is present? Not present. So we are going to get as true only here also, because 100 is not present. If I ask 100 in list 1, is 100 is present in list 1? Not present. Here we are going to get what? False. So here we have to understand what difference between in and not in. Okay. So not only list, we can take any type of sequence. It may be tuple, or it may be dictionary, or it may be string. So here I have taken one string and one list as an example. Okay. So I will take one more string so that you can understand clearly. So I'm going to take here my name. I'm going to take space also so that you can understand. Okay. Here I'm going to take my name, so that here in this I want to find, I will take some commas also. 1 minute. In between I will take some commas also. Okay. Now see. So here S is having some string. I want to find whether the string called as, for example, Shiva space. I want to give some space in. Yes. So it is present or not? Yes, it is present. Now I want to check for RA space. RA space in. Yes. Is it present? It is not present, because here what we are having, RA space is not present. If you check for RAM, it will be present here. RAM, for example, in S. Yes, it is present here. So in this location it is present. So now I want to check for a comma in S. Is it present or not? Yes, it is present. So I want to check an exclamatory mark. Okay. In. Yes. Is it present? It is not present. So I will check for not in. Yes, it is not in S. So we are going to get as what? True. If I am searching for in, I am going to get what? False. Is exclamatory mark is in S? No, it is not there. So we are going to get what? False. So this is some of the examples for our membership operators. So what are the membership operators we are having? In and not in. So these are the membership operators we are having in our Python. So these are the different type of operators we are having in our Python. So once briefly, let us see what are the operators we have discussed in our Python. Okay. So first, what we have seen, arithmetic operators. Okay, briefly let us see once again. So first one is what? Arithmetic operators we have seen. Arithmetic operators. Next one, relational operators, or we can also consider these operators as comparison operators. Okay. Next we have seen about logical operators. Next, bitwise operators we have seen, and also assignment operators. And also we have seen lastly some special operators. So here first let us see what are the arithmetic operators briefly. So what are the arithmetic operators? So it is nothing but plus, minus, into, divided by. This is division, which returns you floating point. Next, this is modulo. This is what? Floor division. Okay. So you have to understand the difference between normal division operator and this division, floor division. Next, now let us see here one thing you have to understand in arithmetic operators. There is no concept of increment and decrement operators. These are not present. Okay. So now let us see about relational operators in our Python. So which tells us some relation between the values or variables. So it will tell whether less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and so on. Okay. And next, what we are having, not equal to and equal to. So here next one is what? Logical. Logical means what? Here we are going with true or false. Here I can apply only three different operators we are having: and, or, and not. Next, bitwise. So bitwise means what? For every bit in the value, we are going to perform the operations. So what are those operators? AND operator, OR operator. This is XOR. This is complement. Next one, left shift and right shift. Okay. Okay. Last one is what? Assignment operator. Assignment operator is what? Equal to. And also I can apply this assignment operator to all other different operators and so on. Okay. These are called as what? Compound operators. Next, special operators are what? Special operators are membership operators and also identity operators. Identity operators. Here I am going to see what? In, not in. Here what? Identity is not. Okay. These are the different type of operators in our Python. And also one special operator is that is what? Ternary operator, or we can call this operator as conditional operator. Okay, where we have seen for if and else. Okay, if else. Here I will write some value 1, and after that here I am going to write, sorry, here I am going to write some condition. In else case I am going to write, for example, value 2. So whenever this condition is going to be true, it will go to this value 1. If it is false, it will go to else case, that is value 2. So these are the different type of operators in Python. So one thing here we have to understand that if we are going to consider any expression, okay, so let us see what is meant by an expression before going to operator precedence. So if you let us consider, I will take one small example, 2 plus 3, it is called as an expression. Okay, so our expression is nothing but a combination of values or variables or any operators, or it may be function calls also. It may be function calls are generally termed as expressions. Okay, are called as what? Expressions. So very important word to understand what? Every statement, let us take every statement in our Python, it can be considered as expression. It may be values, it may be a group of values, and it may be group of variables, or it may be combination of values, variables, operator, function calls, and so on. So it is called as what? Expression. So directly we can say what? The Python interpreter can only execute a valid expression. Let us consider 3 into 2 semicolon. You don't know what is meant by the semicolon, so it will not be a valid expression. So our Python can understand only valid expressions. So now I want to talk about operator precedences. So what is meant by precedences means, with small example I will tell you. So 2 plus 3 into 4, for example. So what is the result of this operation? So here what is the output of this one? 4, for example, 2 plus 3, how much? 5. Okay, 5 into 4 is how much? 20. Okay, so some people will think that answer will be 20, but we are having the concept of precedences. Precedences means if we are having multiple operators in the given expression, then which operator has to be executed first? So based on the precedence, which is having highest precedence, that will be executed first. Okay, here how many operators are there? One is plus operator, second one is multiplication operator. So when compared to these two operators, this multiplication is going to have highest precedence. So first which is going to be performed? 3 into 4 will be performed. So that what will be the answer? 12 here plus 2. Then next plus is going to be done. So answer will be what? 14. So let us see whether this expression is going to give you 14 or 20. Let us see here. 2 plus 3 into 4. Okay. 2 plus 3 into 4. So it is what? Answer is 14. It is not 20. So before going to complete the concept of operators, we should understand the precedences also. That means we have seen many operators here. So among them, if multiple operators are present in a single expression, how the evaluation will be done? So let us see the hierarchy, so that it will be easy to evaluate expression manually also. First, highest priority. So I am going to write list of what we can say operators from highest to lowest precedences. So first highest precedence we are going to have for what we can say braces. or we can call it as a parenthesis. Next highest priority is for exponential or exponent operator. Next we are having for unary complement. Okay, this one we are having, and also we can consider plus and minus also. Unary minus also I can consider. No need of considering plus, because if you write plus 10 or if you write directly 10, the value will be 10 only. Okay, so I'm going to, these are what unary. Here I will write the names also. So this is what parenthesis. Okay, okay, right. Next one is what exponent operator. Next one is what, these two are what, one is complement or bitwise, we can consider it as a bitwise not, and next one is unary operator. Unary, that means unary is nothing but what, for example, unary means minus 10. This minus is unary, not binary. So what is the difference between binary and unary? Binary means, for example, 10 plus 20. Okay, sir, for example, 20 minus 10, it is what, this minus is going to apply between these two values. So this is what binary. But here what happens, I'm going to take minus 10. That means what, this minus is applicable only for the 10. That is called as unary. Next one, let us consider our next operator is what, after this one we are having some arithmetic operators we are having, that is into, divided by. Next we are having floor division and modulus symbol. Okay, you know already these operators. I'm not going to take any names. Next, after these operators we are having plus and minus. So when compared in arithmetic operators, plus and minus is having least priority, least precedence. Which is having equal priority? Into, divided by, modulus and floor division we are having highest precedence. Next, after that we are having plus and minus. After that we are having for shift operators. Okay, left shift and right shift. Okay, right shift and left shift. Next, and operation we are having for what? And operation, bitwise and. Okay, next for or, bitwise or. Okay, next it is going to for relational operators. Now next precedence is for what? Relational operators. So it is what, not equal to, equal to, double equal to. Next, less than, greater than. Next one, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and so on. So all other these are the comparison operators or relational operators we can consider. Next we are having for assignment operators. You know what is meant by assignment operators? Equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, and so on. I will not write all the operators here. So let us take these operators. And next we are having the operators for is and is not. What are the operators? Is and is not. Next priority is for. Next is for in and not in. Okay, finally we are having and or not. So these compulsory, this hierarchy has to be known by you. Reason is what, when you are going to perform some operation, if you don't know this hierarchy, 1 minute, if you don't know about this operator precedence, it may lead to confusion, because instead of doing for in before example we have done what, 2 plus 3 into 4. First you may perform 2 plus 3 and later you can perform into 4, but it is not the correct case. So first we have to understand the which is having highest precedence and which is having least precedence. If you are going to consider all these operators, I have written from highest to least preference. That means, for example, in an expression, if I am having this exponent symbol and symbol, which one will be performed first? Exponent will be performed first, and next we are going to perform and. Otherwise, let us consider if you are having and or symbol bitwise. So here these operations, if you are having these both in the single statement or single expression, which one will be executed first? And will be executed first, and next it is going to be first, it is going to execute or. So compulsory you have to understand these statements. I will take one statement for you, and I will make you the thing clear. That is, see here, 2 into 10 by 2. Okay, otherwise, okay, let us take here 2 into, for example, 10 by 5, for example. So what is the answer of this one? Let us take 20 by 4, that is 20 by 5, that is 4. For example, I am doing here. So okay, 1 minute. Okay, now see here, for example, I am going to do what? 20 into 10 I am going to perform first, later divide by 5. Otherwise, first I am going to perform what? 10 by 5. 10 by 5 is what? 2. So here also anyway we are getting same value. Generally, if we are having these type of situations, for example, 10 plus 30 into 2, for example. Okay, let us take this situation only. I will consider this situation only. So here, first which operation has to be performed? Either this operation or this operation. You have to understand. So what what we have to think first? These two operators, first we have to check the precedences. These two are having same precedence, so that which operation has to be done first. So whenever we are going to have the same precedences, then we have to go for associativity. Very important point, associativity. That means from some operators will have from left to right associativity, and some operators will have right to left associativity. Don't worry about those associativities. I will explain now. Okay, now see. So see here, we are going to have, I will take this example only. Here 2 into 10 by 5 is there. So first, whether this one or this one, that means what we have to understand, this operator or this operator has to be executed first, we have to understand. So I will write the associativities also for the these all parameters. Sorry, these are all for these operators, right? First one. So I don't want to write for all the things. Just I will write only for two things, because remaining all are same. So for exponent, we are going to have the associativity from right to left. So if you don't know about associativity also, don't worry. I will explain with an examples. So just I will write here, and also for these these things. For all assignment operators, we are going to have what? Right to left. Right to left. So for remaining all other operators, associativity will be from left to right. Left to right. Remember these two, that's enough. What is that? Exponent operator, exponential operator. Another one is what? Assignment. That will be done from right to left. So now see here, I will take one small example. Okay, now see here, I am going to perform what? 10 into 2 into 3 plus 4 into 5. For example, I have taken an expression x equal to. Now, what is the answer here? So from where we have to perform? Either from this side or from this side. That we have to understand first thing. So, okay, let us take from right to left. I am going to consider, for example, 4 into 5. What is the answer? It is what? 20, for example. We know the concept of precedences. So let us consider we don't know about the precedences. Then what we have to do? 20 plus 3, 23. 23 into 2, 26. Next into 10, 260. If you are going to come from right to left. If you are going from left to right, what happens? 20 into 3, that is nothing but 60. 60 plus 4, 64. 64 into 5. It is what? Some other different value you are going to get. Some 320, I think. We are going to get some 320. So which one is correct? Both are wrong. So if you don't know about precedences and associativity, both the answers are wrong. In one way we got what? 320. In another case we got what? 260. Here both answers are wrong. Reason is what? We have to follow some precedences, and we have to follow from associativity. So first we have to check for what is say precedences. Later we have to go for associativity if there is any problem. Now see, first we have to perform what? Multiplication operations. Okay, operations from left to right. Okay, 4 into 5 what? 20. Next is what? 2 into, otherwise 2 into 3, 6. Okay, 10 into 6. Let us take here 1 minute. 4 into 5, 20 here. Okay, next what I have to do? 3 into 2 into 10. that is what 60. So here this is which operator? Plus operator. So already this is completed and this is completed. So answer is what? 60 plus 20, that will be 80. So now let us check whether the answer is 80 or not for this expression. Okay, right. What is the expression we have taken? 10 into 2 into 3 plus 4 into, for example, 5. So we got what? 80. It is not 320 or 260. If we don't know about associativity, or if you don't know about precedences, then we will get some answer like 320 or 260. But the answer is what? 80. Okay. So compulsory you should understand about precedences and associativity. Okay. Just remember, associativity is nothing but what? Just only for exponential and assignment operator, it will be from right to left. Okay. Now I will discuss about right to left. What is meant by right to left and left to right? So 10 into 20, for example. Here we are going to perform somewhere 10 into 20. What is the answer here? 20 we are going to have. This is what? Equality, equal symbol. Okay, assignment operator. So how assignment operator is going to have associativity from right to left? See, that means right value will be stored in left. That means from right side the value will be initiated to x. Okay, this is the way the associativity plays a major role in our operators. So one more example I will take, one expression I am going to take and evaluate for you. So small, let us take 10, and for example 2 into some complex thing I am going to take here, minus 4 by 2, some exponential 6 minus 4. So compulsory you have to understand this one, so that you will get a clarity on this one. So once again let us see what are the highest precedences and all those things. So just what are the symbols I have used here? Parenthesis I have used, division, next one is what? Exponent, plus, minus and multiplication. Only basic things I have used. So among these, first one is what? Parenthesis. That means what? Among these expression, first thing that is going to be executed is what? Only this one, first step. So remaining all I will write same. So first evaluated thing is what? 4 by, sorry, why 4 by 2? Because parenthesis, whatever the thing that is present in a parenthesis will be executed first. Okay, completed. Next, what are the symbols we are having? Minus, subtract the symbol. Next one is what? Exponent. Next one is minus. Next one plus, into. Let us see what is the highest among those. So next one is what? Exponent. So what happens here? Exponent means it is going to perform this one. Okay, this one. So 2 power 6. What is meant by 2 power 6? See, you think that 6 minus 4 will be done. No. After performing this one, this exponent is between what? 2 and 6. So 2 power 6 is what? 2 power 6 is 64. So this minus 4 remaining same. I will let as it is. Okay. Next 10 by 2. Right. Next, what are the things we are having? So divide by, into, plus, minus, minus. So among plus, minus and into division, which one is greater? Multiplication and division is having same precedence. So now the confusion rises here, whether to do 2 into 6 or 10 by 2. So what is the associativity? 1 minute. Okay. So what is the associativity here? For division or multiplication or plus or minus or minus. What is the associativity? Left to right. That means from this side I have to perform the operations. That is what? I have to perform 10 by 2. 10 by 2 is what? 5.0. Why it is 5.0? Always division returns you which type of value? Floating point value. So this is the case, it will happen. Next, minus 64, minus 4 I will write. Next, after that what? From left to right, into is there. Okay, the answer is what? 30.0. Okay, 30.0 plus 4 minus 64 minus 4. Now the thing what we have to understand, plus is there. So what I have to do? 30 from left to right only, this operation will be performed. 34.0 minus 64 minus 4. Now again, which operation is there? Minus 34.0 minus 64. What is the answer? 30.0 minus 4. Then finally result is what? 1 minute. So here minus 64 is it. So the value is what? Minus 30.0 minus 4. So it results to what? Minus 34.0. 0. So in this way, evaluation is going to be done for this expression. Compulsory, this has to be understood by you, because here I have shown what? I have shown you precedences. So what is meant by precedence means what? Among all these operators, which one has to be performed first? Which is having highest precedence? Brackets. So first I have to evaluate the expression that is present in the bracket. So I have first evaluated that one. Okay. Next, this is completed. Remaining are what? Minus this exponent plus into and divide by. Among these, which one is having highest priority? This exponent. Okay, exponential operator. So I have, this is in between whom? 2 and 6. So I am going to perform 2, sorry, it is between 2 and 6. So I'm going to perform 2 exponential 6. So the value is what? 64. Next one, what I have to perform? What are the operators that are remaining here? Minus, minus, plus, into and divided by. So division symbol. So among these, which one is having highest priority? So highest precedence, division, and what we can say, multiplication. So these two are having same precedence. Once again, if we are having same precedences, then I have to go for what? Associativity. Okay. So associativity of plus and minus is what? Left to right. That means what? From left to right, I have to perform the operation. So 10 by 2 first it will be performed. Later, so we got what? 5.0. Next we are going to perform 5 into 6. Sorry, 5.0 into 6. So 30.0 we got. Next what? Plus is there. First whether I have to perform plus or minus. So from left side we have to take. So 34.0 we got. Next 34.0 minus 64 will be done, and finally minus 30.0 minus 4 we are going to get. That is what? Minus 34.0 we are going to get. So just I will write the same expression in our Python shell. Let us see whether the output will be correct or not. Let us check. So 10 by 2, I have taken the values as 1 minute, right? 10 by 2 into 6 plus 4 into 6 plus 4. Next minus, I have taken in parenthesis 4 by 2. 4 divided by 2. And next exponent 6 minus 4. So some syntax error we got. 1 minute. Okay. Now see what is the answer we got? Minus 34.0. Whatever we got here. In this way, the expression is going to be evaluated. So if you want to evaluate these type of expressions, compulsory you should understand what? Precedences and associativity. So already I have given here precedences. So from top to bottom, it is nothing but what? Highest precedence to lowest precedences. And also associativity is what? Associativity for exponential operator and this assignment operator is from right to left. For all other operators, it is from left to right. So compulsory this thing has to be noted. Okay. So this is about precedence and associativity of operators. Now we are going for next topic, that is next concept, that is input and output statements. Okay, input and output statements. Okay, now see, till now we have seen only output statement, that is print statements, but now we are going to see in detail about input and output statements. Okay, so generally our Python is having a rich library. Rich library is nothing but what? It is having everything, maximum things it is going to provide for the programmer. Just we have to write our own code, that's it. Maximum support will be given by our Python libraries only. In the same way, for input and output also we are having many functions, but among them mainly we are going to use two functions for inputting and outputting. One is input function. What is that? Input function for inputting, for reading the data from the keyboard. And second one is print function to print the output onto the screen. Okay, so now let us discuss in detail about these things. So first I am going to explain about input function. This function I am going to execute, sorry, I am going to explain, that is what? Input function. So till now, till this program, till this day, that is up to session 16, we have not yet discussed or not yet taken any input from the keyboard. Just what we have done, every time I am going to take a input statically. See here, what is the value of list 1 here? 10, 20. I have taken here itself. I have not taken this value from the keyboard. Okay. In the same way, for many different, see here, what is the X value here? Shiva. That is taken statically. From the keyboard, I have not taken anything while running the program. So from now, by using the function called as input, I am going to read the what we can say data values from the keyboard. Okay. Now let us see how to use this input function. Okay. So what is the function name? Input. Listen carefully. Input function. So I want to, okay, directly I will write in my as a program. Listen carefully. X is, otherwise I am going to take name equal to, I want to take some name. So if I want to take some name from the keyboard, I have to ask what to the programmer, enter the, or user enter your name. Okay. By seeing this prompt, we can say these things as what? Prompt. So by seeing this prompt, user can understand what to input. Okay. So I want to give my name to the program. So see here. So I want to print that after giving from the keyboard. I want to print that name. This is my program. Okay. Now see here. Okay. Now I want to execute my program, that is Python. Okay. See what it is. So it is asking some name and the cursor is blinking there. That means it is waiting for some input. So just I will give my name, that is Shiva I am going to give. So after giving the input, you have to press what? Enter. So after pressing the enter, what happens means, so whatever the name you have given on the command prompt, that will be stored in name. So after storing that, next statement is what? Print name. So automatically whatever the value you are going to store in the name, what is the value you have stored in the name? Shiva. That value will be printed here. Okay, right. I am going to explain many different examples for this input. Okay, right. So what we have to understand here, input is a function for reading the data from the keyboard while running the program or while executing the program. And so in before cases, what I have done, in before all cases, what I have done, just I have taken name Shiva here and I have printed this concept. See, now if I execute this program, I got Shiva. But now by using the concept of this input, what I am going to do, I am going to read the input from the keyboard while executing the program. Okay, right. So this is a small example about your input. So in these brackets, what should be given? Let us consider. I don't want to take this one. What happens? Let us see. So is it compulsory or optional? Let us see. So I'm going to execute my program. Observe carefully. See, it is gone blinking there. Something cursor is blinking. That indicates what? I cannot understand that one. What I have to give, I don't know. Let us give, I will give some value and I am going to enter. It is going to print same thing. So that it is recommended to give some prompt. That means what this is called, whatever we are going to write inside a bracket of the, sorry, inside a bracket of the input function, which is called as a parameter, better give some string so that we can understand. Okay, the user can understand what to give. If you are not giving the prompt also, no problem, but user cannot understand, whoever executing this program cannot understand what to give. Okay, so better write some prompt here. So here what I'm going to write, enter some name. So whenever I'm going to execute this program, just whatever the message I have passed to that input, it will be printed here, so that clearly I can understand what, okay, I have to enter some name here, so that I will enter some name here. So automatically when I press enter, whatever the value I have entered here will be stored in your name. And next statement is what? Print name. So automatically that name is going to be printed. Okay, this is the basic example. Now listen carefully here. I want to take some value. So I have taken some name completed. I want to take some value here. Now, so I am saving this program and I'm executing the program. So I want to take some value called as 10. So it is printed value as 10. Okay, for example, I have saved in name, no problem. You can store in anywhere. Just I will take for value. I will take value here. Okay, now you can understand. So see, anyway, the output will be same. So I'm going to take some 15. Output is 15. Here, one thing I want to tell you is, what is 15 here? Whether it is integer or float or complex or some other string. I want to show you that. So before going to show that, I will take two values and I will perform addition between those. Then you can check what is the output of my program. Okay. See here, I am going to take two values. So value 1 and value 2. So I am asking user to enter value 1 and value 2. And I want to perform what? Sum of these two numbers. So sum equal to value 1 plus value 2 I am going to enter. So what happens here? Automatically value 1, whatever the value I have given to value 1 and whatever the value I have given to value 2, those are going to perform sum. So you can whatever the value you are expecting as a output, it will not be output. Once again, I'm repeating the same thing. Whatever you are expecting as a output, it will not be the output. Okay, I will execute this program. Now enter value 1. I have taken 20, no problem. Now I am telling I am taking 30. If I press enter, what you are expecting? Answer as 30, but answer will be different. Okay, what is the answer we got? Answer is 2030. What is the 2030? So now I will explain about this. Why we got this answer 20 and 30. So the point is, if we are going to read anything from the keyboard by using input function, by default, okay, I will show you that. By default, everything will be in string form. I want to show you that value 1. So I want to show you it is in which form. So type of what is that? Value 1. And also I want to show you about value 2 also. So value 1 and value 2. So what will be the answer of this one? So both will be, has to be what? Strings. Okay, see here, I'm executing. 1 minute. Sorry, comment is what here? Hash. So in C and C++ and Java, comment is double slash. Okay, right. Now see. So it is asking to enter value 10 and 20. So when I press on enter, what is the type it is going to show? Sorry, here value 1 I have written. Just here I have written value 2. Anyway, no problem. So what is the result it is going to show? str and str. That means whatever the values I am taking from the keyboard are what? Are by default strings. But what I need here? I need these values as integers. So once let us go back to our conversion between one type to another type. To convert any type to int, I am going to have a function called as int function. So better what I have to do? So what this function is going to do? Tell me. It can read the value in the form of string. Now what I have to do? I have to convert that value as what? That value to integer. So what I'm going to convert here, for example, this is the first form. I want to convert that to int. Which value? Whatever the value that is stored in value 1. In the same way, what I can do? I can do for second value also. Value 2 in y. So now I want to show you a sum of two numbers. So the converted value 1 is stored in what? X. The converted value 2 is stored in what? Y. Now x and y contains what? X and y contains two numbers in the form of int. So I will print those two types also. That is what? One is x type, another one is y type. Okay, right. Here I have to write x and y. What is the x and y type? X and y are what? Integers. I have converted value 1 and value 2 as integers. Now I want to print the sum also. Print sum. For example, directly I am going to print the value here. So right now let us see the program. See, it is asking for the value. So I want to give the value as 1 minute. 10. Next one I want to give 20. What is the answer we got? Type of value 1 is what? String. Type of value 2 is what? str. Type of x is what? Int. Type of y is what? Int. Directly the sum is what? 30. Okay, here we have to observe this case. So what I have done means whatever the value I am going to input here will be in the form of string. So value 1 will be what? 10 is going to be stored in the form of string in value 1. In the same way, 20 is going to be stored in the form of string. I want to convert value 1 and value 2 into int. So I'm going to use what? Ints here. So what is the value that is stored in x? 10 value is going to be stored in x in the form of int. So int of value 2, in value 2 what we are having? 20 in the form of string. I am converting that 20 into int. So finally what happens? X and y become integers. That is what 10 and 20 are integers now. If I perform sum of x and y, I am going to get what? 30. So sum is going to have 30 now. So here we have seen types of values and value 1, value 2 and x and y. Now this is one way. Sir, why to take separately x and y here? Can't we take directly? Can't we convert directly? Don't worry, directly here we can convert. Just for this, if I am going to place, if you are going to place int, here directly it is going to be converted. No need of taking one more variable and no need of doing the conversions additionally. So it is a waste of time. So no need of taking other two variables. Directly I'm going to take what? Here value 1 and value 2 only. Now you have to observe what? You have to observe one thing, that value 1 and value 2 are which types now? Here there is no concept of okay, x and y. So now what happens? Whatever the value it is going to take here will be in the form of string. I am converting that string to int. Same here also. So now value 1 and value 2 will be having which type? Int type. So those are going to be added and sum is going to be printed here. Okay, let us see. So here I'm going to take what? 10, 20. So what is the answer? Value 1 is which type? Int type. Value 2 is int type and sum is what? 30. So this is the second way we can do it. Sir, why to take all these things? Just I want to print everything in a print statement. Everything is possible in Python. Okay. See here, just I am commenting this one. Okay. Next, just I want to show you everything in a single line. Print. What do you want? I want to print this sum. For example, I want to print what? Sum. Okay. You want to perform which sum? I want to take, first see, I want to take two inputs. So what I have to use? Input of value 1. I want to ask user to enter value 1, for example, right? Value 1 he is going to enter. So this value 1 has to be which type? Int type. So again this has to be converted into int. Okay, this one has to be converted into int, right? So first thing is completed. That means what? This is nothing but you are going to read the value 1 in the form of int. The statement is going to represent. So this is sum is string and this is separate value I'm going to take here. So I have to place comma in between that. Now I want to take what? I want to do sum. So for that I'm going to take plus. Same thing I am going to write for value 2 also. For value 2. Right, completed. If I execute this one, automatically we are going to get the output. So what is going to be happened here? Just here, this entire statement is going to take, expression is going to take one value plus, and here it is going to take second value in the form of int. So those are going to be added, and finally it is going to print as what? It is going to print here sum, and here these two statements are going to be evaluated and the value is going to be printed. So now I will execute. Okay, see now it is asking value 1. I have entered some 10 and 20. It is going to print what? Sum. See, in our Python we can do a small thing in variety of ways, many ways. So see, first I have taken some 8 or 9 lines to execute a sum of two numbers. Next I have taken these two this way, which contains some 6 statements. See here, in one statement, in one single expression, I have evaluated sum of two numbers here. So one main advantage of this Python is what? The code will be less to do a task. Okay, right. This is about a small, how to evaluate a small expression and how to take inputs. Now I'm going to write a small program, so where I'm going to consider every type. Okay, I'm going to consider every type here. Okay, that is I will consider int type, float type, input, that is what, bool type, string type, and I'm going to print that data, so that we will get a clarity on this one. So I will take a student details, for example. So student will have what? Student roll number. So roll number I'm going to take. Roll number can be what? Let us take only int type. So int I'm going to take here. Here what should be there? Which function should be there? Input function. What I have to ask to user to enter? Enter your roll number. Enter your roll number. Remember one thing, that whatever we are going to write inside a double quotes can be anything. There is no concept of uppercase or lowercase. It's your wish. Okay, right. Here roll number is completed. Next I want to ask a name of the student. So name is which type? It is a string type. So is there any need of converting the input value as a string? No need. Reason is what? By default, whatever the value you are going to read from the keyboard by using input function is what? Is a string. So here I'm going to take what? Enter your name. And next I want his more details, like his address or his marks. For example, marks will be like what? Or percentage. Directly I will take what? Percentage. So percentage will be what? In the form of float, some 96.8, 80.5. In this way we are going to have. So I want to take what? Enter your percentage. For example, enter your percentage. So what happens here? I'm going to input the percentage, but it should be in the form of what? It is going to be taken in the form of string. I want to convert that one into float. So which function is used to convert into float? Float function. Okay, right. Next, three values I have taken. One more thing I want to take, that is what? Some address. Otherwise, let us consider. Okay, I should not ask this one, but for an example, I'm going to take whether he is married or not, because I want to take some otherwise. Whether he has cleared some gate exam or not, for example, whether he has cleared gate exam or not, or MSET. Okay, MSET I'm going to take, whether he has cleared MSET or not. What he has to tell? Either yes or no. Just here I'm going to place what? True or false. Okay, int, for example, sorry, I have to take which function? Input function. Input of enter your MSET status. Otherwise, enter whether you have written MSET or not. MSET or not. In the form of what? I have to tell in the form of true or false. Okay. So I have to give here what? Status in the form of boolean. So I want to convert this one to boolean. So I want to tell you something, that okay, let us see this one, what happens after. Now these are the different cases. All the cases we have covered here, which is required. Just I want to print what? After completing this one, I want to print the details, all the details what I have taken. Whose details all these are? Student details. Student details. So details. So I want to print, I want to give some space, so that I am going to write some symbols here. So I'm going to place some equal to symbol, for example. Okay, right. In next line I'm going to print all the details of the student. What are the details here we are having? First one is roll number. So roll number, where roll number is stored? In roll, ROLL. So ROLL I'm going to take. Next, what is the thing I have to print? Next details are what? Name. So name I am going to print name. So if you want to print some colon also, you can print here, no problem. So colon, here name is stored in where? Name itself. So next I want to print what? His percentage. So percentage, comma, here what can I take? Where I have stored it? Percentage only. Percentage. Okay, right. Finally I want to print his MSET status. Okay, MSET status. Okay, status. So where I am going to store? In MSET. Right. Now I want to execute this program, and I want to print the data of this employee. Okay, right. Now see here, it is asking to enter my roll number. My roll number is 50, for example. Enter your name, Shiva. You want to get some space, we can give the space, no problem. My percentage is, for example, 86.7, for example. Enter whether you have written MSET or not. So I have written the MSET. So I will write here what? Yes. So what is the answer we got? What is the status we got here? Roll number 50, name Shiva, percentage 86.7, and MSET status as what? True here. Why true here? I have given some value. If I am not going to give some value, automatically it will take what? It is going to take it as a false. But I have given some value, whether it may be yes or no or anything. So that if you want to write exactly, better place here true or false. Better place here what? True or false. So that the user who is going to enter the details can understand easily. Okay. So you can enter only that type. Otherwise, if you write SR also, no problem. But here it is going to convert whatever you are going to do in the form of bool only. Otherwise, better we can also take some other types, like if you have written, okay, I will take here true or false only. I will not make you to be confused. Okay, right. In this way, I'm going to take. So now it will be easy to understand by the student who is going to enter his details. Okay. Right. Now see, I'm going to execute the program once again. So see, enter your roll number, clear 50. Enter your name, okay. Enter your percentage, some 90.2, okay. Enter whether you have written MSET or not. That means in the form of true or false. So I will write false. False. So see, what happened here in MSET status, we are getting what? True only once again. Reason is, if you are going to take here true or false also, it is what? Non-zero. So it is going to do what? Bool here. I am converting it to bool. So better not to take any value. Internally we can convert this one. Okay. Don't worry about this one. We can make it not to happen here. Just write down here what? 0 or 1. Better take 0 or 1. Then what happens? If I take 0 or 1, 1 indicates what? Yes. Just I will place here 0 means no, 1 means yes. So our system also has to understand this concept. Okay, right. Now what happens here? Same thing. First I will execute. Okay, percentage 56.3, for example. SC here 0 means no. So I have not written MSET. So 0. So what happens finally? Again we got what? True only. So we have to change some logic here. 1 minute. That means whatever the value you are going to give here is in the form of string. Okay. So it is, I'm going to convert this string. Observe one thing. I'm going to convert this string in the form of bool. I will take empty string. For example, I will take empty string. So empty string also cannot be taken, because when we are going to press /n, it is going to take /n anyway. So we can change it later. So this is about how to convert different types into our own types. Okay, right. So in tomorrow we are going to see about how to take multiple inputs, or how to evaluate an expression in the single line. Okay, in single line I will take multiple inputs, and also I will evaluate the expression which is don't know initially. So we are going to see the function called as eval in tomorrow's class, and also we will discuss about remaining print function also in tomorrow's session. Thank you.